Milwaukee man is accused of driving 59 miles per hour over the speed limit before finally crashing into and killing a grandfather. He was arrested on scene and charged with second-degree reckless homicide.
But now, after more than 3 months after that crash, Milwaukee police say they don't know where he is. Fox 6's Cassidy Williams explains why police say they don't have an answer.
A few hours after this wreck near Fond du Lac in Congress on Friday, August 12th, sisters Angelique and Andrea Papilla got a call.
They had said that my dad was brought in from a severe car accident and that he was hit at high speeds and that he didn't make it.
Their father, Joseph Papilla, was on his way to a friend's house that night. His daughters say he was the life of every party. They expected him to be there to watch their kids grow up.
I just don't understand how it happened, you know what I mean? Like, just to be so soon.
11 days after Papilla's death, charges were filed against 29-year-old Vincent King. The complaint says data from within King's Dodge Charger shows he was driving 94 miles per hour right before the crash. The speed limit there is 35. King was charged with second-degree reckless homicide, second-degree reckless injury, and possession of a firearm by a felon.
I really thought, like, okay, great, like, we got him. Now we're going to be able to speak up and be our father's voice and go to court and look this guy in his face, eye to eye.
But months later, they are still waiting on that court date.
There's this big piece missing from us to be able to find some closure from this, and we can't.
The criminal complaint says King suffered a fractured femur and hip. The Papilla sisters say the DA's office told them King was still in the hospital when charges were filed. Fox 6 has been asking Milwaukee police if King is in the hospital. 12 days after the crash, the response was, "It could be possible. However, I do not know for sure." 3 weeks later, we asked again. MPD said, "I do not know. That is protected information from the hospital." So we followed up, asking, what is the protocol when a suspect is in the hospital? Is the suspect free to walk out on his own accord and expected to turn himself in? That's when an MPD spokesperson replied, when arrestees are expected to be in need of medical care for an extended period, then a decision is made to lift an arrest hold. That means police stopped guarding King at the hospital. Police claim due to HIPAA, area hospitals are not required to contact them when a prisoner is set to be discharged. In short, the Milwaukee Police Department does not know where Vincent King is. And now the Papilla sisters' grief has turned into something else.
It's not even being sad. I'm furious and I'm angry. I'm frustrated. And I am very upset with how this is all being conducted.
I feel like the legal system has failed as a whole.
Milwaukee Police's booking procedures outline what happens when an arrestee is taken to the hospital before processing. It states officers will not leave a prisoner unguarded while they are receiving medical treatment. It goes on to list 3 situations when a hospital guard would be lifted. 1, the prisoner is medically cleared to be transferred to a lockup facility. 2, the custody of the prisoner is transferred to another jurisdiction. 3, the district attorney declines to press charges. None of those 3 reasons appear to apply to Vincent King. So we emailed MPD again, asking if they could point us to the policy that applies to King. MPD responded, there is nothing in the SOP because it is not a policy, but a process. When we asked for a sit-down interview to explain this process, we were told no. They suggested we contact the district attorney's office because ultimately once they are charged, the state takes custody. Our multiple attempts to reach the DA's office have all gone unanswered. The Papilla sisters have been calling too.
And instead of focusing on like the good, happy memories, all of our energy is put into this Vincent Lee King. Where is he? Why aren't the police doing something? You know, calling people all day, every day.
Without an opportunity to sit down with MPD or the DA's office, we took some of our questions to police consultant Chet Epperson.
You're really legally responsible for person A until that person then is transported to the county facility or the facility where they're processed, where they're fingerprinted.
Epperson is a former police chief with more than 3 decades experience. Epperson says police should know when an arrestee is being released from the hospital, especially with a crime this serious.
And then have the person just walk out of the hospital unbeknownst to the police department, any police department. To me, it's an embarrassment.
It is possible King is still in the hospital, but the Papilla sisters think at this point it is highly unlikely. Either way, they hope to hear back from someone in the criminal justice system soon.
We are the daughters of Joseph. We have the right to know.
After the promotions for this story started airing last week, we talked to several people who say they've seen Vincent King since the crash out of the hospital. I asked MPD about this tip. Their response was that the Fugitive Apprehension Unit is dedicated to looking for people with active warrants. Ben?
Wild stuff. All right, Cassie, we'll keep following up on that. Well,